Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a session designed to help facilitate a transformation, a rebirth, if you will. And this came about from working with a client that had this desire, had this wish to level up, to become more of themselves, to evolve in some way, accepting that they had a lot of knowledge, a lot of background, they'd done a lot of inner work, and yet weren't quite living the level of life that they knew was possible for them. What was really interesting and kind of took this session in a different direction is that they said they had a dream of the Egyptian god Anubis actually checking in on them and seeing that kind of jackal-headed shape, which is recognizable. Even if you're not familiar with Anubis, you probably are familiar with that very tall jackal-shaped head, normally with a very black, jet black kind of head, often in statues and hieroglyphics and symbols and things like that. And what was interesting is that this is the Egyptian god of birth and rebirth, of death and the cycle of life. So I thought that becomes a really useful metaphor for almost kind of like evolving the inner self that might be capable of amazing things, but might be a bit critical, judgmental, or negative, and replacing that part with an inner self which is optimistic and encouraging and a champion, a cheerleader, rather than a naysayer. And then the Anubis element kind of made sense to have an Egyptian kind of setting for this. So this hypnosis session is actually set in a chapel deep in the depths of a great pyramid, dealing with Anubis, this Egyptian god of life and rebirth, in a ritualistic kind of setting. I think for those of you that have quite vivid imaginations, you'll get a lot out of this. But even if you haven't, the suggestions about evolving and replacing parts of you with a more encouraging, optimistic part will still resonate. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of tension around your eyes, eyelids, and around your eyes to be released. And with your eyes closed, allow feelings of tension to leave your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, accept the idea that a powerful feeling of resourcefulness is going in through your nose, into your lungs, and filling your body with an incredible sense of inner strength and power. And as you release your breath, get the sense that tension, stress, and worries are leaving your body, but also anything else that is in somehow and some way holding you back or unresourceful in some way. Therefore, simply by breathing in and breathing out, you're becoming more and more resourceful and finding it easier to let go of anything unresourceful. Feeling lighter, feeling more connected, breathing in deeper and slowing and extending the outward breath to enable you to feel even deeper relaxed. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine that you're in ancient Egypt, perhaps thousands of years ago. I want you to imagine that you're standing outside a great pyramid, in front of a doorway that leads in, and there are steps leading deep down in the depths of the pyramid. As you breathe in and breathe out, very soon I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and you will imagine walking down the steps, down into the depths of this ancient pyramid. With each descending number, you will feel 10% deeper and deeper relaxed. But also the pyramid represents the power of your subconscious mind. Imagine the tip of the pyramid being your conscious mind, and that so much more exists outside of your conscious awareness. And you will walk down, deeper down, into the depths of your subconscious mind. Starting to count 10. Walking down the staircase into the depths of the pyramid, surrounded perhaps by torches, the flames lighting the pathway. That's it. Deeper down, relax. 9. Feeling like you're releasing any tension around your face, your jaw. That's it. 8. Another step down this ancient staircase, down into the depths of this pyramid. Deeper down now. 8. Releasing any tension in your neck and your shoulders. 7. Continuing to walk deeper down that staircase, past doorways that lead into ancient chambers, but you're going deeper down even still. 7. Arms getting limp, loose, heavy. Breathing getting even deeper. Even though you're going into the depths of this pyramid, you're still breathing in fresh air, still feeling resourceful, calm and confident. That's it. 6. As you breathe in, even your internal organs start to relax. That's it. Lungs, stomach, heart, your gut, your liver. Just release any tension, allow it to leave your body. 5. Releasing any anxiety there in your gut. Continue to walk down this staircase to the very depths of this pyramid. 4. Even your legs are getting deeper and deeper relaxed. That's in. Almost feeling now like you're floating down this staircase. Legs limp, loose, heavy. 3 and then 2, your calf muscles release any tension. Down into your toes, from head to toe, all anxiety, tension, stress is released as you imagine entering an ancient chamber in the deepest part of this pyramid. Eyelids feeling heavier, feeling deeply connected. There is now a well-lit, ancient chamber, almost like a temple in the depths of this ancient Egyptian pyramid. And it is just you in this chamber. You and an entity in front of you. and you're not sure if this is a physical or spiritual entity, but I want you to see a tall being, almost with the face of a jackal, surrounded by gold, ancient loincloths, intricate embroidery, and I want you to accept that you're coming face to face with an ancient Egyptian god, the god Anubis. Some people say that Anubis is the god of the dead, but really Anubis is responsible for the rituals, for the cycle of life, death, and afterlife. Everything is connected. Everything evolves. And I want you to imagine that Anubis has a voice and is asking you if you know why you're here. I want you to get a sense that you're here for a reason, because there is a part of you, although well-intentioned, has to die in its current form. It won't die forever, but it can't exist in its current form anymore. And Anubis asks, if you know which part of you needs to die in order for it to be reborn in a new way. And if you're aware of what part is, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to get a sense that there is a part of you that is well-intentioned but hasn't been serving you well. And maybe the role of this part is to encourage you to do your best, to live up to high standards. But in doing so, perhaps it's focusing your attention on all the things that aren't right, that aren't perfect, that are getting in the way in some way. And I want you to imagine that is not you, it's just a part of you. And it's that part of you that will die and be reborn in its true intention. And if its true intention is for you to live your best life, to raise your standards, to live a life that you're capable of, to grow and to learn, let me know by nodding your head. That's right. I want you to imagine that you are visualizing, perhaps there on an altar, the part of you that maybe has been negative, critical, harsh in some way, dampening your spirits, eroding your enthusiasm. And I want you to picture that critical part there on the altar. And I want you to thank that part for its good intention. Thank this part for what it's been trying to do. But I want you to imagine streaming images from your mind to the mind of this part of all the way in which it communicated with you, with that criticism, the negativity, what impact it had on you emotionally. Had you questioning yourself stopped you from taking certain risks or chance in case you failed? I want you to get a sense then, by projecting these thoughts to this part, you're giving them the ingredients necessary to be reborn in a new way, an empowering way, a way that aligns with your instincts, your desires, a way of tapping into your talents and reactivating parts of your mind that have been dormant, sleeping, ready to also be reborn. There are things you know that you've forgotten, languages you've learned but don't speak. I want you to imagine a rebirth is never truly a death. It's just reactivating the best version of yourself, knowing what you now know. And if you and that part is ready for this regeneration, this reactivation, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to switch perspectives so you feel that you are in the body, on the altar of this part that has been negative. Imagine that your words are tinged with hopelessness or negativity or criticism. And accept that this version of you can continue no longer. Because from every criticism is the ability to frame that criticism as an opportunity to improve, to grow, to progress. The same words can be encouraging rather than destructive. The same words can build rather than break down. To be lifted up rather than suppressed. And I want you to imagine you can see the face of Anubis, placing a blanket over you. Everything goes dark. And I want you to get a sense that a simultaneous death and rebirth is happening simultaneously. I want one hand to represent the critical part of you, the other hand to represent the encouraging, supportive, nurturing part of you, the part of you that will catch you if you fall. And I want you to gradually move both to the center of your heart. The hand that represents the harsh criticism, as it moves to your heart, is agreeing that the intention of high standards and growth, evolution and learning can still be met, but in this new way. And as your hands slowly move together until they interlock, I want you to get a sense that you can feel an evolution, a change taking place under the blanket. That you can feel that through the eyes of Anubis, that a part of you is dying, but an even stronger part is being reborn, birthed, reactivated. That this cycle of life is activating here in this moment now. In this ancient temple, buried deep beneath the ancient pyramids, under the watchful eyes of Anubis, I want you to imagine the ritual of death and rebirth is happening within you. The core need, the core intention is still being met, but in empowering, instinctive, supportive ways. And when you feel that that rebirth has happened, let me know by nodding your head. And as you feel that transition take place, you realize there was no death. It's the same part evolving. And isn't evolution required to make a transition from one chapter to a new chapter? As you get older in life, you're still the same person, but you're not wearing the same clothes you wore as a teenager. A part of you dies, a new part is born, but you're still the same person. I want you to get a sense that this part, the part that's always wanted you to live by your highest standards, to get better, to do your very best, is still there. It has now just morphed into an encouraging, supportive, nurturing, helpful part that wants to lift you up, motivate you, excite you, be your cheerleader, to tap into all these wonderful things that are positive for you. And if you feel that that part has now been fully awakened and will take this role, this responsibility of championing you to be your very best, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Shift perspectives and witness as Anubis takes the blanket over, lifting off this new version of you, and notice that a transformation has taken place, almost like a magic trick. The old version of you is no longer there. And this new version of you, this part responsible for encouragement, championing, cheerleading, supporting, this part looks different, sounds different, smiling, has a positive energy. And while you're watching this part seem to be reactivated, I want you to feel old neural pathways are reactivating in your mind, in your brain. Skills that you know are being reactivated. Knowledge that could be useful. Doorways are opening up. That you're able to tap into more of your infinite resources, because now those parts, the part that has been putting pressure and stress on activating those parts is no longer there. They now want you. Knowing that not everything you try, you'll succeed, but you'll either win or you'll learn. You'll either get the result or get the feedback to enable you to make better choices, become wiser, to move forward, to make progress, to grow, to learn, to evolve. I want you to feel that this part that is on the altar is now leaving the altar and stepping into you, and feel all of that positivity. Feel that your world is growing, becoming more expansive, that it feels safe to follow dreams and adventures, that a transition has happened within you, that your subconscious mind will catch you if you fall, warn you of the dangers, but not tell you that you're not capable anymore. Rather than telling you what can't be done, your subconscious mind will work with you to find solutions, to either avoid problems or learn from them. Meaning, you get to move forward in your life in profound, powerful, and empowering ways. And when you're fully connected with that new part, the evolved part, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to think of one thing, just one, that perhaps wasn't possible before but now is. Something maybe you've wanted to do for a while but didn't believe you could. And hear that encouraging voice, that tonality, that inner voice saying, yes, you can. You can do this, we can do this. Think of that thing that takes your life one step forward, one level up. And then imagine seeing yourself doing that thing. And it might not be easy, but it's worth it. Because either you'll do it or you'll learn from it. But this one thing represents self-belief and you moving forward. Allow yourself to see that future event unfolding and notice as you imagine yourself as someone else, you're encouraging them, you're supporting them, you're rooting for them, championing them, wanting them to do well. As you feel an improved connection with yourself and your future self. Before we leave this ancient temple, buried deep in an ancient pyramid, it's time to say goodbye. Say goodbye to Anubis that's been there all along. Tell them that you appreciate them checking up on you. And that maybe you'll want to see them again in the future when you realize there's yet another part that needs to evolve and grow and change. I want you to imagine giving Anubis a hug, saying goodbye, and feeling that death is nothing to be feared. Because whether it's death within life or at the end of your life, everything is just an evolution, a transition, a new chapter. Imagine leaving the pyramid, going up the steps, feeling lighter, more confident, more resourceful, feeling a strong connection with yourself, feeling that you can trust your intuition and your instincts, and that your subconscious mind will be a supporter for you and your mission. And as you arrive at the top of the steps, leave the pyramid, perhaps look at the pyramids in that ancient desert and get the sense that you've left the pyramid as someone different from the version of you that went into the pyramid, and that you're grateful for that transition and evolution. Feel that gratitude in whatever location it feels like it is for you. And then accept that this, the pyramid, Anubis, the change, are thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams. As you now return to your physical body, listening to my voice firmly in the present, as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're back in this moment, listening to me right now. And very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, motivated, feeling a great desire to live your best life. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.